Vince Gill just left all of Nashville speechless. One statement, one glance, and the entire country music scene was no longer the same. Whispers from backstage, long hidden as rumors, were finally unveiled by the man himself. But what shocked everyone most wasn't the truth. It was the way he owned it. In 2017, Vince joined the Eagles just a year after Glenn Frey's passing, a decision that immediately sparked heated controversy. Some fans called him an unworthy stand-in, criticizing a country artist for stepping into the legacy of a legendary rock band. Social media exploded with the hashtag #NotMyEagle, and fan forums overflowed with sarcastic remarks aimed at Vince. Even Don Henley, the band's leader, found himself in a difficult position, balancing the preservation of the group's spirit with introducing a distinctly different voice. Sources confirmed that tensions over the division of lead vocals were real. Vince had suggested not singing Glenn Frey's songs out of respect, but Henley insisted he take them on to keep the heartbeat alive. In a 2025 interview, Vince finally admitted, "I refused multiple times, but they needed someone to keep Glenn's heartbeat pulsing on stage. I'm not Glenn Frey, but I poured my heart into it. My presence was to ensure those songs weren't forgotten." The statement reignited debate across Rolling Stone and Billboard about whether the Eagles should even perform without Frey. That same interview also brought another bombshell. Vince openly confirmed the long-standing rumors that his relationship with Amy Grant began before either of their divorces was finalized. "I'm not proud, but I can't deny we found each other in our wounded days," he confessed, an admission that split public opinion between condemnation and respect for his honesty. From 2023 to 2025, relentless touring put his endurance to the test, with over 30 consecutive shows leaving him physically drained. In August 2024, a leaked video from backstage in Las Vegas showed him collapsing after performance, sparking tabloid headlines about a legend's downfall. His doctor later clarified it was exhaustion from dehydration and lack of sleep, but when photos later surfaced of Vince leaving an orthopedic clinic in Nashville, speculation mounted about his health. In March 2025, during the Opry 100 event, he confirmed the truth, a degenerative spine condition. "I fight it every day, but I won't let it steal my music," he vowed, a statement that spread widely as a symbol of unyielding resolve. Vince also revealed a silent struggle with depression, recalling 1999 to 2003 as the deepest darkness. He admitted, "I stood before thousands of fans, but inside was only emptiness. Music saved me, but it also pushed me to the brink." Looking ahead, Vince announced he would significantly reduce touring after 2025 to focus on family and charity. With his voice breaking, he shared, "I want to be the grandpa my grandkids can touch, not just see on a screen." Public reactions to these revelations remained divided. Some valued Vince's truthfulness and humanity, seeing him as a symbol of steadfastness, while others felt his confessions came too late, especially since he was still performing with the Eagles. To understand why Vince Gill could stand firm amid such storms, one must look back at his tumultuous beginnings. Born in 1957 in Norman, Oklahoma, Vince grew up in the turbulence of his family life. His father, Stan Gill, was a federal judge and an amateur musician with a fierce love for the banjo, but in 1972 a prolonged land dispute lawsuit thrust the family into the crosshairs of local scrutiny. The pressure from press and harsh gossip created a suffocating atmosphere at home, leaving young Vince to turn to music as his only escape. He began with simple guitar lessons from his father, but his passion quickly expanded beyond those confines. Vince taught himself to play the fiddle, dobro, mandolin, and bass, an impressive array of skills for a teenager. At just 10 years old, he stunned his community with a performance at the War Acres City Hall dedication, earning the nickname the Versatile Prodigy. Yet his musical path was almost derailed when, at age 12, a severe bicycle accident badly injured his right hand. Doctors warned he might never play again, but with relentless determination, Vince not only recovered, he practiced even harder, turning adversity into motivation. He later shared on PBS that the accident showed him music was the only thing pulling him back from the abyss. As a teenager, he joined the local bluegrass band Mountain Smoke and quickly became its cornerstone. One standout moment came when Mountain Smoke opened for the legendary rock band Kiss in Oklahoma City. The crowd, unwelcoming of a bluegrass act, protested furiously, and a defiant 19-year-old Vince audaciously responded by flipping the bird and mooning the audience. In a later interview with Rolling Stone, he called it reckless but necessary to assert himself, and the story became a legend in Oklahoma's bluegrass circles. Soon after, Vince left Oklahoma to chase bigger horizons. He joined Bluegrass Alliance in Boone Creek, working alongside Ricky Skaggs, before heading to Los Angeles to perform in Sundance, a band led by fiddler Byron Bullin. These experiences built his reputation in both bluegrass and country rock communities and paved the way for greater opportunities. His first major breakthrough came in 1978 when he became lead vocalist for Pure Prairie League, a renowned country rock band. Just 2 years later, they struck gold with Let Me Love You Tonight, a hit that propelled Vince onto the Billboard charts and introduced him to a nationwide audience. The success solidified Pure Prairie League's standing and marked Vince as one of Nashville's most sought-after vocalists. Still, fame came with pressure to maintain his musical identity in an era of heavy commercialization. One of the most controversial moments of his career came in the early 1980s when Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits invited him to join the band as guitarist and backing vocalist for On Every Street. Many saw it as a golden opportunity, but Vince declined. In a later Variety interview, he explained, "If I'd accepted, I would have lost myself. I chose country, chose Nashville, chose a harder but true path to my heart." It was a bold move at a time when rock music reigned supreme. The decision split opinions. Some praised his steadfastness while others believed he was holding back his career. But no one could deny that Vince Gill proved himself to be not just immensely talented, but also a man who placed artistic integrity above personal gain. And all of this was merely the opening act for a career that would rise to even greater heights. In 1983, Vince Gill launched his solo career with a contract from RCA Records. His debut album, Turn Me Loose, quickly drew attention, earning him the top new male vocalist award from the Academy of Country Music. But the spotlight faded fast, as follow-up albums of Things That Matter and The Way Back Home saw only limited success. With his solo career stalled, Vince relied on work as a session guitarist, backing stars like Reba McEntire, Emmylou Harris, Rosanne Cash, and Bonnie Raitt to make ends meet. Many in the industry praised his captivating tenor voice and stellar guitar skills, but felt he still lacked a breakout song that would bring him to the forefront. That turning point came in 1989, when Vince joined MCA Records and teamed up with producer Tony Brown. His album When I Call Your Name marked a stunning transformation. The title track climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, earning him his first Grammy for Best Male Country Vocal Performance and the Single of the Year award from the Country Music Association. The album went double platinum, selling over 2 million copies, a feat far beyond expectations. Billboard hailed Vince as Nashville's new breeze, while Rolling Stone called it a moment when an artist rose from obscurity to potential legend. Success continued with Pocket Full of Gold, which went platinum thanks to hits like Look at Us and Lisa Jane. But it was I Still Believe in You that truly launched him to the top. The album reached the top 10 on the Billboard 200, sold more than 3 million copies, and earned 5 CMA awards, including Entertainer of the Year and Male Vocalist of the Year. Its title track brought home 2 Grammys, including Best Country Song. The brilliance carried on with When Love Finds You, which sold over 4 million copies and climbed to number 6 on the Billboard 200. Its hit single Whenever You Come Around became one of the defining country love ballads of the 1990s, later covered by numerous artists. From 1990 to 1995, Vince made history by winning the CMA Male Vocalist of the Year award for 5 consecutive years, an unmatched achievement. But glory always walked hand in hand with tragedy. In 1993, the death of his half-brother, Bob Cohen, dealt him a devastating blow. Vince poured his grief into Go Rest High on That Mountain, a song that became one of the most iconic memorial ballads in American music, often played at funerals and remembrance events. Rolling Stone ranked it number 17 on its list of the 40 saddest country songs of all time, calling it a ballad bearing the weight of a lifetime of sorrow. His personal life also wavered under the pressure of fame. His marriage to Janice Oliver, a member of Sweethearts of the Rodeo, began to fracture under the strain of relentless touring and the heavy demands of success. By 1997, the couple divorced. While tabloids claimed he had sacrificed family for Nashville's glory, Vince never responded publicly. Instead, his album The Key served as a kind of musical diary, reflecting the pain of divorce through deeply personal songs like If You Ever Have Forever in Mind. Amid the chaos of his personal life, Vince remained deeply devoted to the community. In 1993, he founded the Vinny Pro Celebrity Golf Invitational, raising tens of millions of dollars for underprivileged children in Tennessee. He also played a pivotal role in the All for the Whole campaign, supporting the Country Music Hall of Fame. At the height of his career, Vince Gill was not only celebrated as the most outstanding solo artist of his generation, but also revered for his humility and generosity. Yet behind the brilliance, personal struggles and career pressures shadowed him like an unrelenting darkness. In March 2000, Vince and Amy Grant officially became husband and wife, but their relationship had long been clouded by whispers dating back to the 1990s, when both were still in separate marriages. Nashville tabloids relentlessly hyped moments of closeness between them at music events, and their collaborations at charity concerts fueled gossip. One article in the Tennessean even hinted at an ambiguous relationship between the two stars, infuriating the Christian community. When Amy announced her divorce from her husband in 1999, many pointed fingers at Vince as the cause. Christianity Today described the public reaction as a moral whirlwind, with a Christian music icon dragged into controversy. After their quiet 2000 wedding, Vince faced a fierce wave of backlash. Some fans branded him the destroyer of a Christian star's image, and several Christian radio stations refused to play songs he and Amy performed together, plunging them into a storm of criticism. Their private life became a feast for the media. Amy, once celebrated as a queen of Christian music, gradually shifted toward pop country, splitting her longtime fan base, while Vince chose silence in the face of scrutiny. In an interview with Variety, Amy shared, "Vince showed me how to stand firm in the storm. His compassion held us together." Even under pressure, the couple remained committed to community work, donating millions to organizations like Music Cares and Grammy Camp in support of young artists and struggling families. The annual Vinny Pro Celebrity Golf Invitational remained a cornerstone of their charitable efforts, and in 2023, the Nashville Music Association honored them for their timeless contributions to the artist community. Still, their relationship continued to face relentless scrutiny. Social media accounts often dug into the past, questioning whether their love was fate or born from broken vows. Yet Vince always remained composed, telling us weekly, "We live to love each other, not to please the world." In the end, after all the storms, Vince Gill entered a phase of leaving behind a legacy both radiant with achievements and fraught with controversy. By the fifth decade of his career, Vince stood as a towering figure in country music, with achievements that commanded reverence. He holds 22 Grammy Awards, a record for a male country solo artist, along with 18 CMA Awards, 8 ACM Awards, and an honored place in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Go rest high on that mountain. The masterpiece born from the pain of losing his brother reached platinum status in 2023, nearly 3 decades after its release. Billboard hailed him as a living legend, one of the few artists able to captivate both old and new audiences with his warm tenor voice and masterful guitar playing. Yet Vince's influence stretches far beyond chart rankings. In an industry increasingly swept away by pop country trends, he is seen as the last bastion of traditional country music. Kyle Young, CEO of the Country Music Foundation, called Vince Nashville's vibrant spirit, stressing that his legacy proves a rare harmony between preserving roots and embracing selective innovation. From bluegrass-rich ballads to crossover hits, Vince Gill upheld musical authenticity while still broadening his audience. His cultural impact stretches far beyond music. Dubbed Nashville's kindest man, a title born from countless backstage stories, Vince became known for selflessly helping young artists, offering free backing vocal for newcomers or giving them the chance to share the stage at his concerts. His enduring presence at the Grand Ole Opry, where he became a member in 1991, stands as a testament to both the program's tradition and his role in preserving its quality. Vince's legacy is not limited to his music. Together with Amy Grant, he donated millions to organizations like Music Cares, Grammy Camp, and especially the All for the Whole program, dedicated to preserving country music's heritage. The Vinny Pro Celebrity Golf Invitational, launched by Vince in 1993, has raised over $25 million for programs aiding disadvantaged children in Tennessee. His philanthropic efforts even earned him honors in the golfing world, including the PGA Distinguished Service Award in 2003 and the Old Tom Morris Award in 2022, the highest accolade from the U.S. Golf Association for contributions beyond the course. Still, as his career is reflected upon, differing views remain. Some conservative critics argue that Vince was too cautious. Unlike revolutionaries such as Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson, he didn't reshape the genre with audacity. They suggest that despite his string of hits and flawless vocals, he didn't ignite the kind of upheaval that transformed the genre. Yet younger fans praise him for that very stability, often calling him the keeper of country's purity in music forums. His legacy now stands at a crossroads as Nashville enters a new era. With artists like Casey Musgraves and Chris Stapleton redefining country music, the question remains, will Vince be remembered as an enduring icon or as a symbol of a past era? At 67, Vince Gill isn't concerned with shaping his own legacy. In a recent Us Weekly interview, when asked how he wants to be remembered, he simply replied, "I just hope people see me as kind. Music awards, all that's just an extra reward." At an age when many artists write memoirs to cement their names, Vince instead chooses to face his past directly, silencing decades-long rumors and opening a new chapter where truth is laid bare, from romantic scandals to backstage pressures and the quiet wounds of his career. What Vince leaves behind is more than immortal music. It is a legacy of compassion, kindness, and an unbreakable spirit.